All right, there. See, I started it properly. Now we know where to start. So yesterday, technically day one, I sort of did 2 hours, and I wanted the videos to all be about 1 hour chunks. So this is technically the third, even though it's day two. It's chaos, I know. All right, so we're gonna continue with our weird JavaScript meets Unity chaos. See, this is what we are up to. Computers aren't that smart. So apparently now it's telling us that computers are dumb. So let's see what it says here. Um, syntax needs to be exactly in the right place. We already realized that because this console.log stuff and, oh, the dot length was a particular one, the syntax and everything. You have to even have capitalization done properly. There are many mistakes in this code. Find and fix them all. Oh boy. The computer doesn't worry about extra spaces between words or brackets, just cares about the order of where things are placed and that you have used the right characters. So
I'll talk to the chat.
10, if 10 equals 10, I don't think it can, what is happening here? Oh my God, it's all wrong. But what's wrong? You got a true. Well, let's see what happens when I just click this. Invalid. Try and remove. Hey, okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking was weird, but that can't be the only problem.
Oh, no hints.
No, I'm cheating. I'm cheating by doing that. Oh, okay. This is not an equal sign. It needs to have 3 in order for JavaScript to think that it's an equal sign. Even though in C# it's only 2, right? So is there anything else? Console.log. That looks correct to me. This. Yeah, okay. That's it. I forgot that the equal sign was actually multiple equal signs. My normal human brain kind of took over. You have to like think.
C# it's
In C# it's 2 equal signs. In JavaScript it's 3. I wonder why they make that differentiation. 2 doesn't even mean anything in JavaScript, right?
I don't know. Probably does.
Okay, fair enough. All right.
Go on to the next thing.
Okay. Yeah. Next is playing with strings and numbers. Mid-lesson breather. Oh man! See, this would have been a good time to stop yesterday, apparently. Covered a lot of ground, so many new terms, so much syntax.
Well, this is good for today because you
Yeah,
refresh.
it's a review. It's perfect, actually. You're right. Okay. Confirm and prompt. You can make pop-up boxes appear, but only in JavaScript. Pop-up boxes are not something that you can just automatically do with C#. We learned that last time. So, hello, James. Hi, Max. Greetings of the peoples. I'm supposed to be focusing those, so don't talk. Anyhow, all right. So what does it want me to do? Click save and submit to continue. Oh, they're just covering all of the stuff. This is an example of an if-else statement that basically is using all the things. Data types are numbers or strings. So numbers are just literally a number. Pick a number, any number. Strings are anything within quotation marks. And Booleans are things that are either true or false. And are they always marked by a greater than or less than sign? How do you define a Boolean?
So
that's something that I wasn't quite clear on last time.
So there's something different in the Unity. You want to go to Unity and just for a second in the mono development, open up
Mono.
open up anything. Yeah, the whatever you want. from yesterday.
Okay. Oh, and all of these programs are free, guys. That's part of the
Okay.
point.
So
You can learn along with me.
let's do. So you've got here. You've got a number, which is actually a float, because there's different types of numbers, right?
Okay.
So you could also do make a go up to above speed.
Above speed.
Yeah.
So here.
Put a new line in there. Type in a new thing, and do int and then a name for that variable.
Oh, so like integer?
Yes.
Number.
Yeah. And
Okay.
you can even, when you start making or assigning variables, you could do right in here something like that.
Number equals? Is that an actual equals, or do I need to do equals
Nope,
equals?
that's just a standard equals, because what you're doing is you're saying number is going to equal 0. It's just
Okay,
like
because
you're
there's a
making,
lot of equals in here,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
I just suddenly realized I'm
you're
not
using
doubling them.
assignment instead of
Searching
comparison.
for comparison.
Right.
Okay. Saying
So-
that this is actually equal to. That's what the single equal
So
sign
for this, you've got, so now you've got integers, you've got a float. Your float is public, your integer is not. That won't show up in the inspector or things like that.
You're
So
using words I don't understand fully
you
yet.
remember, you know this inspector. The inspector's in Unity.
Mm-hmm.
Go back to Unity. We'll go over things.
Uh-huh.
This is your inspector.
Oh, right. Okay, I'm just not
So when
familiar
you
with the
click
terms
on,
entirely.
I know that's why I'm doing all this. Feed shows up because you've
Right.
made it public.
But if it's not public, it's not posting to everything. It's just within the code itself.
So also public does more though. It also makes it accessible across other scripts. So you can access other scripts from other scripts, and you can't access unpublic.
So why would I want to make anything not public?
Because
I'm asking the real questions.
Because eventually code gets big,
Okay.
and sometimes you need to hide things.
Okay.
Sometimes you don't want things to be changed.
It's like efficiency sort of stuff, or is it more like damage protection?
Damage protection. There's a lot of complications.
Okay.
So, but
Well,
just
that's cool.
don't ever make anything public unless you need it to be public.
Do I need this
So-
int number?
No, you
to
don't
be
even need it
public?
at all. I'm just showing you different variables. So don't watch the chat. Look over here. All right. So make a new line,
Yeah.
because they were talking about booleans. So you type in BOO.
Oh, for Boolean.
L. See?
Bool.
Do that one. Oh, there you go. And call it something. And semicolon at the end. Now, what you could do here is right off the bat. See, like this one, we right off the bat, we assigned it a value.
Okay.
You could do that same thing with the Boolean if you like.
Why would I want to do that? I don't.
Because
You're telling me to do things, and I'm not understanding the purpose.
There's no purpose for these.
Okay.
I'm telling you about them. That's all.
Well, okay. So in this,
Yeah.
where it's talking about confirm prompts, we know that first section here. This is something that's only JavaScript.
Mhm.
It's basically they have a section of code kind of that triggers in a specific way when you type things like that. Then we have the data types,
Right.
which are these three things that we're talking about, which are numbers.
Uh-huh.
Then we have strings,
Uh-huh.
and then we have Booleans.
Right. And I'm trying to show you those things because in JavaScript they're going to call those var. VAR.
And instead, those are actually bools.
No, you have to. So in JavaScript, you don't have to define what type of data you're using. Right? You can just create a variable and then assign numbers or strings or Boolean to it.
So those are the three types of variables.
There are some of the variables. There are more than 3 types. And you can make your own.
Okay, that's cool. That's way more powerful, isn't it?
So back over here,
Okay.
we have numbers, a Boolean, and you can also make a string. Just make a random string variable.
What do you mean?
Type in string. There you go. And call it something. Right. Semicolon. Okay, so now you've got redo variables that you can access and do stuff with. You can do all sorts of calculations or checks or whatever on them. But it's important to understand that a Boolean can be a variable. You can also make so just to give you an idea. Let's here and do like ghosts equals these are the kinds of things. Oh
What
no,
are those two?
wrong thing. Hold on a second.
What is this?
There we go. All right. So now, when this thing starts up,
Okay.
it's going to say cheese. If cheese, or not, you don't mind if. So you made a Boolean statement.
What is a Boolean statement
Okay.
compared to a normal? Okay, I'm understanding that what you're trying to do is you're trying to explain to me the difference between C# and Java. It's this one right here.
Okay. So here, they're like, look, these are Booleans. False, the Boolean. And 5 greater than 4, the Boolean, right? Another Boolean is cheese equals string of nothing.
Okay.
Right? It is, right?
So what is
You see
the
what I'm saying?
function of a Boolean?
To be true or false.
Okay. So it is something that's trying to.
It has a value. It is a value for true or false. Don't look at the chat. Look at me.
Well, they might actually be saying useful things. Like, look, Max is saying C# is a static language, which means you need to set the type of variable when defining it.
I know, I already told you
useful. Yeah, but you said it in different words, and maybe those are better words.
So yeah, but they're lag behind them. Just listen to me, because I'm trying to get to something, and then if you're watching them and reading everything they're saying, you're not listening to what I'm doing. Okay. That's all. I want to just you're making me sound like teacher.
No.
So look,
you're being really good. I appreciate what you're trying to do. I'm just
so cheese equals, which is a Boolean operation, right?
Mm-hmm.
It could also be 4 greater than 9, Boolean operation, all greater than or equal to 9. But then normally you wouldn't put just numbers in there. You put other variables in there so you could figure out what they are.
Because why would you want to find out if 4 is greater than 9? Because you already know.
All of this stuff is not important. What it is that they are Boolean statements. You're making ghosts equal to one of those things. So then you could do if ghosts on a previous thing.
So if I had, like, right now, because what we did yesterday, which is pretty cool, we have in Unity, we've got, no, this is with you too. We've got this cool nifty thing that we're doing, right? We have this ball thing that I made so that these two spheres are going up and down. So if I wanted to, with the Boolean functions, I could be like, at various points, this height of the sphere gets entered into the Boolean as like a variable. Like,
you can only set Booleans to true or false.
Right. So if
I'm going to give you tasks to do.
So then what's the difference between the if else and true or false? Like, couldn't I just do some sort of thing with the Boolean that says
this is a Boolean operation. This thing right here, you're asking if this less than 10. This is a true or false statement.
Okay. So so I am using a Boolean to do what I'm thinking.
You're using a Boolean statement. Yes.
Right.
Right. Okay. So I'm just trying to. I'm not even trying to go there. I'm trying to like do something else.
All right. What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to show you the different variable types. Reading the chat.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Hey, I'm live streaming. Hello, everybody. It's really awesome that you came by. I'm trying to learn from Calvin.
Very difficult to talk to you.
Sorry. Okay. So you want me to do some sort of task so that I understand what a Boolean is?
No.
What do you want me to do?
Just listen to me talk about these 3 things so that you can go back to the JavaScript thing.
All right.
Just read in the chat. Driving me crazy. All right. We're just going to do this. Keep going in here. Understand that when it's talking about numbers, strings, and Booleans and stuff like that, you have to define them in C#. That's all that's important.
Okay.
Right? So these are data types that can be assigned to variables, and when you create those variables, you need to be specific.
I totally understand that. Then I have a follow-up question.
Yeah.
which is when I have this 10 here inside of this if statement that we did, I'm not assigning that is being assigned as a position, right?
It's not being assigned anything.
No, sorry, language. It says here, if a game object, which is the sphere, transform position, which is its location in space,
I see where you're having trouble.
is 10, is that 10 isn't something I have to identify as a number because it is a position in space, like it's referring back to itself.
Let's do something interesting down here. I'm gonna show you the inner workings of what transform position y are, right? So you gotta look at me and not the chat. I'm talking, I ask you questions. You gotta listen. Because don't look at them. I can minimize them.
No, I'm saying
Okay.
you can't.
All right,
It's
so
impossible.
the thing I think you're not getting this is that I think I can do it. Can I do it this way? No. Right? Yep. Then this is what the position is. Okay, so what position is a vector. This is what a vector looks like kind of on the inside.
Okay.
But it is a collection of 3 variables.
Right.
X, Y, and Z.
Right. And I'm just looking for the y variable, which is why I'm specifying y here.
Right, but when you ask it what is y, it tells you that number.
Right.
It is just a number. It is a whole container kind of for that number. That's all y is.
So what's the difference between an integer?
An integer is a whole number kind of thing. Points. 0.000523698
Okay. Floats can be whole numbers, but that's more of a they're actually.
So the reason for multiple different types is the way that these numbers are calculated.
Okay.
So it's important eventually, but it's not important now. So
probably good.
Wait, do you understand?
I think so.
Why you're doing that? Why it's happening? You're not assigning it anything. You're actually just looking at a value.
What you're saying, as far as I understand it, well, okay. You're telling me that when I'm looking at this here with this JavaScript, you're saying that the numbers, when they're talking about just simple numbers anywhere, you're not talking about these numbers here. Because there's not like really a case where you would just use numbers.
I'm not talking about anything. No.
You're telling me that I have to use, okay. I feel like I'm getting extra confused.
You are. So listen, you asked a question. You asked a very specific question. You said, what's going on here with the 10 and why are we assigning it? And you said, that's not what you mean.
I'm trying to figure out
why this is a Boolean.
What would I ever use this for? This is what I'm asking.
To store a number that changes.
Wait, to store a number that changes.
So like right here, let's pretend that this is your actual vector and not a fake vector. Okay. Potato. Inside of potato, you're setting y, that float down there, to a value that changes every time you loop.
Right.
The changing number.
Right.
That's why you're storing it in a variable, so you can constantly access what is this number now.
Okay. So why would I want to do this with anything ever? I just don't understand the what function would that be helpful with? So you could move
something along a line or something like that, or all kinds of things. Anytime you want to do a changing a number. You used it already. I'm saying, like, you're saying, why would I want to do that? I'm showing you you've done it already.
Well, I didn't have to specify that anything was an int.
Okay, so.
You see why I'm having trouble?
So the int part.
Yes.
The reason why you want to use an int versus a float is the types of calculations that are done on integers and floats are different.
All right, so they function differently inside the code. I knew
Once you
that,
get
but
into it a bit deeper, you'll know why you want to do one or the other. That's
okay.
not important right now.
All right.
The only important thing is that the types of numbers, if you're going to be working with whole numbers, you want to use an int. If you're going to be using a large floating point number, you want to use float.
But floats can be whole numbers. I'm so
Right.
confused.
But
When you're saying, do you mean a number
no,
that's like a constant?
no. Listen,
Okay.
integer, real numbers, big chunks, no decimal point. Floats, numbers with decimal points. If your number is never going to have a decimal point, you should use an integer. It might have a decimal point, use a float. The only rule.
All right. And then we have the Booleans,
Mhm.
which I'm getting to understand.
Just true.
I felt like I understood them before. Then you started explaining them to me, and I got so confused. I don't know what happened. I knew what they were, and then I didn't know what they were anymore. And now I do again. We're good there. And I get strings. Strings seem fairly simple. Those are just content inside of quotation marks that you call. I'm sure they have like a whole bunch of things that they can do.
You don't call.
Well, you don't call them. But calling is probably some other
It is.
technical term that I don't know about yet. I'm just gonna,
You call functions.
okay, so what do you do to strings? Access
I
them?
don't know.
Use them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
All right.
what are you doing?
I'm reading the chat because everybody's like, everybody's everybody's got information to give.
Really bad idea to have.
I know, I understand that, but I appreciate them putting words in there, and it might be interesting and useful.
All right.
I don't know. Okay. All right, all right, all right. Here we go. So this, maybe we should just cut that whole part out of the video when I post it, because that was really confusing. All right, I'm going to try saying
that's
this.
absolutely necessary because you need to know the difference between how you're accessing variables.
I know, but that was, I have a feeling that most people watching that are just going to get frustrated by it. Okay, you know what I mean? Like, that was a frustrating conversation for both of us. Um, so so this is now it very unstable as far as what I'm doing in here, because now I'm not quite sure, like, when would I need to define that something's an integer as opposed to,
You'll know.
how
You'll
will
totally
I?
know.
Okay,
Just keep moving forward.
just keep moving forward.
Yep.
You just gave me some really advanced stuff, and
I didn't give
I
you
don't
advanced stuff.
understand.
It's the next thing to understand and know. Just like because they're going to be talking about these things. You know the difference from that. Only thing.
Mm, okay. Variable increments and whole number intervals. So, okay, so an integer and a variable are both number markers.
A variable.
Not a variable, sorry.
Container of data.
Right, sorry. I didn't mean variable. I meant the other word.
You're talking about floats and integers?
Floats. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, they both hold numbers.
They both hold numbers, but
Yes.
floats can hold smaller numbers.
They decimal.
Hold parts of numbers. I guess I just don't understand why it's called a float and why the other one is.
Because they utilize floating point. You do not need to know about that now. If you want to be
Okay.
confused, I can talk to you about floating point calculations. You don't want to be confused. Go on. Everything gets deeper. Like there is a point at which I do not know how things work. I like vaguely understand what floating point calculations do.
Okay.
I know as much as I need to know.
So there's a level where it's just magic.
There's so
To
many
some
levels to all of this stuff. It
Okay.
was so deep. You only need to know the amount that you do stuff.
Okay. So floats have decimal numbers. Integers are whole numbers always, and only whole numbers, whereas floats can be both.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Right. And I just, for me, my logic brain then goes, then why would you ever bother with an integer?
Because floating point calculation.
Have calculation errors?
Right.
What do you mean?
The way that floating point calculations are done, they can have errors. So if you were NASA and you were trying to put a spaceship on the moon,
Okay.
you would not want to use floating point calculation.
Because you might crash into the
Because you might not hit the moon at all.
Oh,
Okay?
I see.
So, that's.
But are they faster?
Yes, they're very fast.
Faster than an integer?
Yeah. Bigger.
Oh, man. This is complicated stuff, guys.
Like I said, you don't want to know anything about it right now.
Yeah,
you just wanted to go plow ahead.
Think about puppies and ice cream for a moment, and we'll just start over again with this. Okay. So oh my gosh, that was like a half hour of total confusion. I'm sorry, Calvin. Thank you for putting up with me. I'm still a little bit confused about Booleans, but we can talk about that later. I don't have to do that right now because I'm ready to get going and learn some new
I think
things.
we need to just start actually doing hands-ons.
I feel like by using it, I'll get a better understanding of how it works as well.
I think so.
So it's not something I'm super worried about. Okay, thanks, Igniflus. That's encouraging. He says I don't need to worry about floats versus integers for ages.
Yeah, this is also another reason I was kind of like don't so much. There's like even within the chat currently, there's like this. Now it's like that because this is what programming is like. There's so many ways to do things that are.
Oh no, it's actually that's really fascinating. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to record this with a little piece of the chat log in the video. It's because I know I'm not going to be able to read it all now, but I want to go over all of these afterwards and check it all out, you know? All right. So they're basically, this is just this thing that I'm looking at here is just going over everything that we've already learned, which is super quick and easy. Except we got on a bit of a tangent there. Data types that we currently know about are numbers, strings, and Booleans. And then we know about pop-up boxes, which we know are just for JavaScript, that C# does other stuff. And then there's conditionals, which is the if statement and else. So if blank, do this. If it's not whatever meets that if condition, then else, do that. So that's what this piece of script here should be showing us when I hit save and submit code, because they're not telling me I have to do anything. Bam. Go. Now we get to start doing a little more. All right, so, right. We saw basic math before. Basic math symbols we learned in school work here. Yay, things I learned in school. Even the order in which the computer understands the math is the same. So the code, parentheses, control, order of operations. We have multiplication, division, subtraction, and addition. Pretty standard stuff. This little tiny piece of code here with the dot length. You find the length of numbers inside of whatever is inside of string. I'm like trying to remember the names of the things that aren't automatically used. Like obviously this is an else here, but the things inside the quotation marks are strings. Remember that. Okay. Complete the missing bits of code to construct the if-else statement. Make the condition evaluate to true. Finish the else statement by printing out the string error, error, error to the console. All right, so let's start with that. We need curly brace. Ha! Got it. Bam! That goes there. It's going to end with another one, so I'm just going to throw that in there and type in between it. And what we wanted to do is it says, so else. So if whatever this is that we're trying to do, else, error, error, error. So we want it to print. It would be print in C#. I would type print. Okay, so, oops, no, wait, console log. Log. That's not a dot, Alex. There. In parentheses. Error, error, error. Ooh, have to spell it right. It'll even get upset at me if I don't do that, but that's just the Code Academy thing doing that. Okay, and then I need one of these guys to say that, oops, no, what here we go. So the if statement is missing. If John length times 2. Oh, why are they making complicated mathy bits happening? All right. Well, okay, so John length times 2. So this basically says John is 3. It's 3 times 2, which is 6, divided by 2 plus 1, which is 3. So that would have to equal 3. Making me actually do math in order to do the programming. How dare they? That what they want? Did I miss anything else that I need to do? I think that's good. Let's see if I did anything. Oh, oops. It was supposed to evaluate to true. Thought that's what I was doing. Oh, wait. It's 2, isn't it? That makes more sense. See, look, yeah, it said the answer makes sense. It even knew that I was going to be retarded and do that. Good job, Code Academy. I was just, there were too many 2s on the screen. I blame them. I wasn't, I was doing subtraction instead of division is actually what happened there. So it actually made sense. It was just wrong because it was not what it wanted me to do. All right, I did it. Going on to the next part. Yes, math power. Let's meet an interesting symbol called modulo. Ooh, sounds a little Italian. Modulo. Which is, wait, okay, so the percent symbol is placed between 2 numbers. The computer will divide the first number by the second and then return the remainder of that division. So if we do 23% symbol, 10, we divide 23 by 10, which equals 2 with 3 left over. So 23 sine 10 evaluates. So I guess that's modulo. I said to start calling that a modulo.
Yeah, I never.
You never use it for anything? It seems like it's like setting me up to do basic math stuff, which could be very useful depending on what you're programming. Just not probably many video games. They don't use too much. Well, no, actually, I'm sure they use a lot of math, like with like calculators for hit points or
There's a lot of
all kinds of stuff. But you never use this? Is there?
I probably could. I just don't. Like the thing is that like there are a lot of like math functions that's like 3D math functions.
This is really, really simple. Console.log, which would be print in C#, and it just keeps saying that so that I remember constantly. So basically, like this whole little, it sounds like for everybody in chat even, they're basically, everybody's kind of saying this is sort of like learning cursive right now. Not useful in everyday life. All right, console.log, 14% sine 3. I don't know that the spaces are actually important. Sine. Boop, boop. And I'm going to do this last one without spaces because I'm curious. Sine 3. Let's see if that is any different. Because, yeah, exactly. Spaces generally aren't important. I'm wondering if they're just putting all those spaces in to kind of clarify what's happening. 2, 3, 2. Do, 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 do. Wow. All right. Yeah, the spaces are for the humans. Okay. Calvin, somebody just posted a broken image link. Can you just make sure that that's not something bad? Next lesson. I don't need your hints. Code Academy, I've got this. Why learn modulo? For one thing, it's good at testing divisibility. 30 modulo 10. What does it return? It's a puppy picture. Oh, okay. Puppies are acceptable. All right. What does it return? It's nothing left over, so 0%. 9 modulo 3, also 0. You can use modulos in comparison like this. 10 modulo 2 equal to 0 evaluates to true. Oh, that's a Boolean. Ah, all right, Boolean. 7 modulo 3 equaling 0 evaluates to false because there's one left over. Okay, I get it. That makes sense. Okay. Let's get the if-else statement to display the first number is even. Edit line 5 by adding a comparison that evaluates to true. So equals 0. That should work, right? Yep, it worked. Okay. Oh, Max, we're using Unity. Calvin is the person, obviously, the handsome gentleman that was helping me earlier. He's the person who's solely programmed that entire game. And I did a lot of the art, and we both did some design, and I did a lot of the marketing PR stuff for it. And actually, when I'm done programming, I'm going to be doing more art for Legend of Dungeon. We sat down and we talked about a bunch of stuff, and I have a whole list of things to do. I'm really excited about. Um, but yeah, we used Unity, and C# is the language that Calvin's been using. It's apparently the most popular language for people programming in Unity right now. And that's one of the reasons I want to learn it, is because I want to help. That's my main motivation, is I want to help, and I want to make my own little games if I want to. All right, next lesson, substrings. Oh boy, we're getting in deep, people. We've learned a few ways to manipulate numbers. What about manipulating strings? Sometimes you don't want to display the entire string, just part of it. Email inbox, you can set it to display the first 50 or so characters of each message and preview them. Preview is a substring of the original message. So code somewhere dot substring x and y, where x is where you start chopping and y is where you finish chopping the string. Oh, okay, I see what they're saying. The number part, a little strange. To select for the HE in hello, you would write this, 0 to 2. Each character in a string is numbered starting from 0. Okay, makes sense. Letter H is in position 0, the letter E is in position 1, and so on. To start at a position and slice right up to a position, you are left with whatever's in them. The first 3 letters of Batman! Substring 0 to 3. Okay, that makes sense. Find the 4th up to and including the 7th letter of the string wonderful day. Okay, let's see if I can get this right. All right, so I'm going to say wonderful day. Then I type substring. Does dot substring work in C#? Do you know?
Don't do much string manipulation.
Okay.
Maybe. Probably. I think so. There's at least an equivalent.
Okay. Let me see if dot substring exists in here. That would probably tell me, right?
No, don't do it there.
Oops.
Put it inside of a start, and or
Oh, I see. You're saying in here somewhere.
right. So use cheese.
Cheese.
Made a string already. Start typing cheese. See, and dot.
Substring. It's right here. Public string. Substring. Int start index.
So this is interesting because substring has 2 things. You can use an index, and you can use index and length. See how it says 1 of 2.
Oh yeah.
2 of 2.
Okay.
Cool thing.
Some functions have
I'm not really quite sure what that does, but I will figure that out as I go. Interesting. Okay, I'm going to remove all these random bits from my code here. I don't want to dirty up my stuff. Thank you for trying to explain all that stuff to me, by the way, Calvin. Doesn't have a home. Okay, just keep things clean. That's kind of different, says Glorious Richard. He's saying it's not string text dot substring start to end. It's string dot substring start length.
you just gotta look further.
So what would the purpose of actually having a substring be
Alright.
in most general functions? Like you're saying you don't use it very often, so I'm just really curious. I'm a functional learner. I don't know if you've noticed.
Yeah,
I'm
which
like,
is why.
how do I use this and
So
why?
a lot of this stuff is like website stuff,
Hmm.
right?
Okay.
So let's say
Like-
somebody input.
So if I wanted to, they were using an email as, so if I want to try my own software to check my email and I wanted to see a portion of each email, I could program that in
Or
or
I don't know. You get a part of a string. What you use these tools for varies wildly, and
That's the fun part of programming is figuring out how to use all these tools to make something.
mm.
That's the
My mouse cursor is a little fat cow. I've had it on all of the computers that I've ever owned since I got my very first one when I was 15. That was all my own. And so I bring it with me everywhere. Only because, I don't know, cute. Okay, I think I understand, Calvin. Thank you. All right, so what am I trying to do again? All right, I'm trying to find the numbers. Find the fourth, which since it starts at 0 is actually 3. And the last, which on 7, so that's going to be up to 8, and including the 7th letter. I think that's right. It will tell me if I'm wrong in just a moment. I have to remember the semicolons. I keep forgetting. This DERF. Oh, it's okay. I get it. It's printed out, of course. Printed out the letters that I selected. I was confused why it said DERF because that's, I don't know, like it's insulting me. All right. Jolly good. More substring practice. Getting the positioning of substring letter positions is tricky. Make sure we really have it nailed down. But I'm not going to be doing this at all. And if I did, it would be in C#, and apparently it functions differently. So maybe I should do it once in C# to see how it works.
nah, don't bother with it.
Don't bother?
Yeah, plow through this.
Okay. Instructions using console.log. Oops, that's a slash. Fingers.
Oh yeah, this is mega boring.
Yeah, it's
Sorry.
like some of the pieces that they teach me when it's not something relevant or something I can really play with, it's kind of boring. But I'll just get through this stuff.
very fun stuff.
Somebody tell me a joke while I'm doing this.
Just think of some sort of fun thing.
With the things that I've been learning.
Yeah.
On 3 separate lines, print out the substrings for the following strings. Well, since they're all going to be console.log, they're all going to have parentheses right after them. I'm going to take this, copy it, and paste it because programmers don't need to type out everything every time. So there. All right, so January. Wait, no. That needs to be in question mark. And it needs to say dot substring. What do you do when there's 2 parentheses? If I have a thing that's in parentheses, it's okay to put a double parenthesis? Like if I'm, can I do that? Does that do anything weird? It just keeps track of where each set is, right?
Oh no, okay, so they're used. It'll just give you an error, like it doesn't know.
But like if I put numbers in here for whatever it's supposed to be, I think it's
look, okay, so it'll
0.
tell you that Oh, you have to put. It's a substring, right? Yeah, okay, that's a function. You have to send things to the function. If you don't put the right things in the function or don't put the
Yeah, but it doesn't, like I
It'll
could have
freak
like as
out.
many different parentheses things as I want in there so long as they're working statements.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Yes. You can have functions inside of functions.
Okay, Cool beans.
Until it gets too complicated.
I'm fairly confident that it's basically just me learning and a whole bunch of people who totally know what they're doing watching me. You guys go find your friends who want to learn how to program and stick them in here with me so I'm not going it alone.
There's like one or these.
I don't know.
Yeah, they talk to you on like the Twitter.
Yeah, I have one person.
One or two, see?
Yeah, that's okay. I'm fine with being that person that just gets watched by a bunch of talented people. I'm totally happy with that. Oh, what hashtag do I need to use for that, Max? I don't know all my hashtags.
You did hashtag game dev. Let's get all the game devs. Oh.
That's awesome to me, and then they should be spreading the word to all the people they know. I don't know how this works. I don't know.
I didn't think of that.
Yeah, it didn't occur to me. I'm so used to doing hashtag game dev. I don't do hashtags very often at all. Hello, Yellow Raccoon. I'm glad that somebody else doesn't know what they're doing right along with me. It's good. Even if you're not doing the same thing I'm doing, just you being clueless in a similar location makes me feel good. Right, I want to get the Melbourne is part out of Melbourne is great. So I have to sit here, count letters. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So if I'm right, I think that's it. And then burgers and hamburgers. Oh, dot substring, right. Need those. That makes it better.
I'm over here doing pixel art right now. Just let you know. Not learning.
Actually, Muffin Hat, Calvin is a fairly accomplished artist as well. More so on the 3D side, but he can do 2D art. He did a little bit of the Legend of Dungeon art, actually. Oh yeah, he did so much.
I really did.
You did like the first handful of characters when you were just testing everything out. And you did the back. I'm not saying you didn't do any of it. I'm not trying to say you did nothing. I'm just saying that I handled the majority of the 2D sprite stuff for that, and I'm a better animator than you.
You are definitely better.
You're the programmer, but you also do no art. But we were actually talking about this, and
Do we have degrees?
do we have degrees? No. But anyhow, to finish that thought, Calvin is looking forward to the day where we can do a stream, and he gets to do the art, and I do the programming. A jam. Did I say stream? Where we can stream a jam. I'm just streaming everything. We don't have any kind of degrees, Max. We're both entirely self-taught. We've been making video games for over 8 years now.
I dropped out of college.
Calvin's a college dropout, and I'm technically a homeschool person, and also I went to school for massage therapy. And like I did some biology courses and psychology stuff in college. We have no formal education that is part of.
Nor would I recommend formal education.
It's at this point, formal education just puts you in
Being a doctor.
a really, right, unless you're a doctor, it just puts you in a really big bin with a whole bunch of other people who are just as, wait, what?
If you want to work on like the.
Calvin, did you realize you're just like popping up interrupting me when I'm mid-sentence? You're either going to have to come over here so I can just slap you when you do that, or you have to stop. It's okay. Yeah, at this point, I feel like the game developing industry and the whole entirety of the education surrounding that is just going to set you up. It's like basically you pay a whole lot to get your feet wet because you're just not going to have enough that's applicable in the world as when you get out there, because it's so different and it's changing, and you're going to be learning from old like I don't even know the word for it, like lesson plans from antique years, unless it's DigiPen.
I don't even know.
They have a good rep. They did at least last year when I was talking to people. I don't know. Burgers 0, 1, 2. I think I start at 3. And then I end at, doesn't even matter. 9. Maybe 10. I'm a little confused because it says it ends afterwards. So, oops. I forgot a thing.
That's
Oh, I left out a parenthesis. Okay, there we go. That was all me. I got 2 of them right, but I miscounted on the second one. It's actually 12, which means it ends. Okay, I get it. That was really boring. Sorry, guys. Bam. Next, variables. This should be more interesting. So I'm going to read this part, and then you're going to tell me if it's way super different.
We already did this earlier in Unity. This is what we did earlier.
This is what you were talking about
Right.
earlier?
See, now, like, read this, and then I'll explain it.
Okay. Awesome. Ignifuous, I can tell you right now that those are probably all the ways that my programs are going to go wrong. Off by 1, missing parentheses and semicolons, and probably some typos. Those are where my things will burst into flame. But all the more reason for me to focus on it, right?
The fortunate thing is like development, Visual Studio.
A lot.
Tell you.
Yeah. The monodevelop, which is this handy dandy texty box thing here that comes with Unity, tells you generally if you're being retarded. Nice. Max, my main goal, actually here, so that I'm not filling up the, whoops, that's not gonna, woo, hold on. No, what am I
Yeah,
doing?
you should be doing more code stuff.
I know, I'm actually trying to link to the, here, Calvin, I am tasking you with finding my blog and linking it to him. You can find it. You got this. It's tumblr.geishabubbles. Whatever they do. Whatever. Sorry.
What's the title of it?
It's called Code Ventures. Code Venture Time with X, I think is what I have named it. Anyhow, we have learned how to do a few things. Make strings, find the length of the strings, find what characters are in the nth position, do basic math. Not bad for a day's work. Do more complex coding, we need a way to save the values for our coding. We do this by defining a variable with a specific case-sensitive name. Once you create or declare a variable as having a particular name, you can call up that value by typing variable name. Oh, okay. Yeah, we did this a whole bunch in C#. Where is it? So he's talking about, like, here I named this vector potato. And so here I'm calling potato.
Yeah.
And I totally got this already. This is like super easy, makes lots of logical sense. Basically, it's It's saying this is a specific thing. Here's its name. If you want to reference that specific thing anywhere else in this program, here you go. Actually, now I have a question. Do I have to set that like whatever it is that I'm naming? Do I have to set that to public if I want it to be something that you can see? Like,
Okay.
how accessible is that variable once I've named it? Because it's
Okay, so
obviously.
You got whatever you want here.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go over to name testing, which was
This
some
was
other code.
early.
You've
Super.
got too many
You just
things
drew
on your desk.
my little plastic man. I have another
Look,
plastic man.
look at this. Look.
Okay. So it remembers it across all of MonoDevelop.
But it doesn't. So like what you could do, okay, so what you could do is and not type on this keyboard with all these cards on it.
I'm making a mess on my
know.
messy desk.
Then
My
you could
desk
do
is a very
Bob
organized
dot speed.
Okay.
So
What is Bob? You just named whatever I want. Renamed it Bob.
no, I did not rename it. I created a new variable called Bob of the type whatever you want.
So, which is the name of the other
Script. But since speed is public, bam, we can access that and set it.
So if I wanted to set a name for a thing, kitties. Hobbs, you're being silly.
Continue.
The cats have been watered. Put them in the windowsill so they can. Awesome.
Okay.
All right. So by doing this,
I'm showing you how public speed is.
speed works all the way across.
Now it's accessible outside of
it's accessible.
This code. Now spot is not public. You can't do.
There is no spot.
But if you do this,
Okay.
public vector 3. That's what that's for.
So you were saying before when I was talking about public stuff, you were saying that sometimes you just don't want things to be public.
Right. Most of the time you don't, unless you want to access it outside.
What?
Of this script.
Can you give me an example of a spot in like Legend of Dungeon where you used the public variable?
Yeah, well, no, I can do it. I can do it right here. You've done it. You already did it.
But
so
I don't
Unity,
understand the purpose behind
you made it public. You made this one public, so that you could edit it between these two things.
Oh, right. Wait. So when I make it public, it's also something that I can
change from outside of the script.
From outside of the script.
That's all.
Okay. When something's not public, it stays inside this single script. It is basically, it's like taking that container or whatever, and it has its little locked up section.
There's a lot of
that's at the bottom of the bucket.
Other things besides public that you can do. But those are public is important because Unity uses it to make it show up in the inspector. That's the only reason I taught you that. Otherwise, it wouldn't.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. Cool. All right. So that makes sense.
You know what you're doing still?
Yeah, I'm learning about variables.
Yeah.
But do I use var in? This is the thing that you told me before. Is var is just Java, JavaScript.
I think somebody mentioned that there's a way to do var in C#, but don't.
Don't do var in C#?
It's real bad.
It's bad.
Yeah. You want to declare your variables.
Mm-hmm. Sweet. Oh, did you find the?
No, can't find it anywhere.
You can't find the blog?
Yeah.
Hold on, guys. I'm gonna post it because somebody, when somebody asks, what's your purpose for doing this, it's good to.
Yeah, you haven't linked it anywhere. Twitter.
Yeah. Here, I made it. I haven't.
Never shown it off.
Well, I was gonna talk about it after this stream. that's part of it. Okay, so I'm starting a blog for doing this so that I can keep track of things. There. That's my Tumblr. I'm going to be we're going to be archiving all these videos, and I'm going to be putting them in on little daily blog posts that are kind of summarizing all the things that I've learned so that people don't have to sit there while me and Calvin debate crazy stuff and I ask weird questions that are very specific to my own personality. This is my personal blog. If you want like any of the Robot Loves Kitty stuff, that's all right here on this Twitch stream. Like you just down there. All of our information. But yeah, okay, so let's see. Having a particular name, you can call it the value by typing the variable's name. Totally get it. Create a variable called my age and type in your age. Create a variable, we use only one equals sign. Check if two values are equal, we use three equal signs. Or when not in JavaScript, doing C# is two equal signs. So I need to declare my variables here. So var will be named my, I have to do the same capitalization as they did. It's case sensitive. My age equals secret. Let's see if I don't think I can use exclamation marks. See if that works. It yells at me. Oh, it isn't a number. Oh, you're no fun. Fine. They want an actual number. Sometimes that was completely proper code. It's that good. But it's asking for a number. So that's like me doing something retarded in my own code and not getting the result that I wanted out of it. Can't be secret. All right, fine. I'm 100. Does that work? Yep. See, it accepts that I'm 100, but doesn't accept that it's a secret. How do we use a variable? Useful to think that anytime you type the variable's name, you're asking the computer to swap out the variable, the name of the variable, and the value of the variable. For example, my name equals Steve Jobs, or bloody blue, lots of examples. Okay, yep, I get it. Okay. Follow the instructions in the comments in the code to continue. Declare a variable on line 3 called my country. Var, in the lowercase, my country. Give it a string value equals butts country. Console.log to print out the length of variable my country. So console.log. That appropriate? Are you okay, kitty? Are making weird noises. You probably can't hear. Blurred headphones. All right, I messed up. This should be capital C. Length, and this is my country. What am I trying to do? Dot, what was it called? Substring, I think. Yeah, substring. Then first three letters. So that would be 0 to 3. That should do it. Uh-oh, what did I do? Oh, I did that again. I left out a parentheses because there was one already there in my head. Need a second one to end that console.log. That makes sense. All right, now it's good. I earned a badge! 25 exercises. Anybody doing this along with me? Good job, guys. Oh, all right. On to the next line of things that we're doing. So did you need to talk to me at all about variables? Are we good? Fine? Said something about me doing that and then you were going to talk to me.
You got it. Don't listen to you.
Everything's good? Okay.
Yeah. You understand what you've done.
Instead of saying var my age, I would be doing something like going in here and saying vector 3. I'm just defining what the variable is instead of just saying, hey, it's a variable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's it.
Gives you a lot more control.
Yeah, you can do the equals or you can not do the equals. Stuff like Booleans. Probably pronouncing it wrong, sorry.
Boolean.
It is by default false. You don't have to set equal false to it right off the bat. It'll just be false.
Oh, really? Booleans are
Off.
automatically.
Integers are 0. Automatically.
Automatically. Okay.
Vectors are at 0, 0, 0.
That makes sense. They start in the middle.
So like stuff like that.
Interesting.
So but you can also assign things to them the right way, including the vectors. There's a way to do it.
Oh, Virgin Lord, nice name, is asking if every variable in JavaScript is declared as var. They only coded C.
I think it is. There may be a way to declare them differently, but as far as I know.
I'm going to go back to this stuff. Looks like chat's got this, and so do you, Calvin. Thanks, you guys. I am going to be continuing to do this for a little while, so feel free to tell the internet. I'm happy to have people jump in and who actually, apparently since I tweeted wrong and I didn't call the right crowd, you guys know people who might want to learn how to program, might find this useful. Let them know. So far, we've seen how to create a variable and how to use a variable. Imagine that. Now let's see how to change a variable's value. Variable's value is easily changed. Just pretend you're creating a new variable while using the same name of the existing variable. Variable, my age, 30. Say I had a birthday and I want to change my age to 31. Well, the value of my age is 31. Follow the instructions on line 1, 3, 5, and 8. We're using this method to show you the order in which you tell the computer what you do. Very important. Whoa! Stop! Cat! Why are you being retarded? What was that even? Are you okay? Can you throw you into metal thing? Cat crazy.
We haven't unpacked packs yet. And parts.
Yeah, we only have half of our TV stand so far, so the other half is coming in the mail because it was huge and heavy. But it was cheaper to flat out buy a TV stand than it was to rent a TV from PAX. Hobbs just wants to play, but Star doesn't want to play, so it turns into drama, basically. Follow the instructions, blah, blah, blah. Right, okay. Declare a variable, my name, and give it your name. Var my name equals, and then it's a string that contains Alex. Doop. Now use console.log to print out the name variable. My name to be just the first two letters of your name. Okay. My name now is going to equal Al. Lovely. Yep, that's fantastic. Console.log to print out the name variable. Oh, and that gets this. Setting the variable, do I need to put one of those semicolons in too? When setting, for every line I need to do it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like I should be
Everywhere.
putting it here and here.
Oh yeah,
Everywhere.
everywhere.
Semicolons for everybody.
It doesn't know the end of line.
Right, so
It
that's me
never
saying
sees one.
next time. Go on. Okay. Are there times where me putting one of those in at the end of a line would fuck things up?
You don't want to do it like at the end of
A if statement, right?
Oh, so let's do
If
if.
there's an open brackets, right? Yeah.
Okay, okay, I see, that makes sense. See if I did this right. Yeah, yay, Alex, Al. Don't change the value of my name. That's so weird. I don't know why they would want me to ever do that. I guess they're just trying to explain that if you put in a variable with the same name and you give it two different values, whichever one is lower down in the code. No, wait. If I don't quite understand why this Code Academy thing's doing what it's doing. It's saying, it says here that they're doing it to show you that the order in which you tell the computer what to do is very important, right? Like here I have using the exact same variable with two different values.
Yeah, they're just showing you that you can pop. Okay, so actually here, interestingly enough, you don't need to do var twice. This is declaring the variable twice.
Okay.
You just want to do it once,
Okay.
right?
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, that'll still work, but doing it the other way doesn't work?
What happens is that you go, I've got a new variable for you to look at, and I'm assigning it this value, and then you're like, oh, and print my variable. This is right, and then it says, I've got a new variable to look at. It's the same name as the old variable, so get rid of that one, and we got this new one now.
I see.
And assign it this value, but you don't need to do that. You can
I'm
just
just
be
saying,
like,
hey, this
that
is a new
variable,
value.
new value for it.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And all they're trying to show you is that, yeah, they're trying to explain what they're.
Okay, no, this
I
is
think
really
you
cool.
got it figured out. Seems like you do. The container, you put stuff in it. Put data in it.
Cool beans. Oh, thanks for stopping by, Nicholas. You're awesome. All right. Awesome. I feel like I'm understanding a decent portion of what the heck I'm doing, which is really nice. All right, here's another quick review, but I've been doing this for about an hour, which is how long I kind of set